we just got back from seeing the Scorch trials, and we're not even going to fuck around. It's spoilers from here on out.
The Scorch Trials is the second film in the Maze Runner. I assume it's going to be a trilogy. I'm not sure they've announced that they're going to do the Death Cure yet, but given how the film ended, they kind of need to do the Death Cure, otherwise it's a bit of a waste of time. What did you think of the film?
Much better than the book.
It was completely different. There is very, very little. It's taken from the book and used in the film. There are certain scenes and there are certain acts, and possibly there are certain things that said, wicked is good being repeated and stuff like that. But for the most part, the actual plot of the book isn't really...
It's not there.
It's not used.
Which is that they've sort of taken the book and said, nah, we'll take this set piece, slap them together and completely change the context of everything else, including the relationships, especially Teresa and Thomas.
Whereas in the book, Thomas and Teresa are separate. They have a telepathic link.
It's not in the movie at all, is it, telepathic link?
No, they don't talk telepathically.
They had weird dreams
all.
in the first one, and that was it.
There's no sort of sense that they're actually communicating with each other that the others don't know about. And in the book, Teresa is kept with a group of girls as she travels across the Scorch, and then Thomas is with a group of boys who travel across the Scorch. Whereas in the film, it's a group of boys plus Teresa travelling.
The thing is that it's a group of boys plus the extra boy who is from the girl group is with them as well.
So you make it sound like he's like an extra in the Spice Girls like that.
I definitely went in this film with very low expectations because the first Maze Runner book is pretty good. The second one, not so much. So you have very low expectations, but they actually took a lot of things they thought didn't work, which is most of the book, and I think they improved it, but I don't think they did it in depth enough to make a solid movie, but I still think it's better than the actual book.
I liked the film. It did feel a lot of the time like, okay, we're going to have a firefight here, we're going to have a firefight here, we're going to have...
Shots of them running!
Yeah, considering that the first one is the Maze Runner, they do an awful lot of running in this one. You'd have thought they should give up by now. Until he decides that he's tired of running. I did quite like that.
And then his plan is ridiculous. It's like, I'm just going to blow us all up because...
Solutions.
Reasons.
We spoke about the plot changes. How do you think that works in sequence with the other movies? Obviously, the Maze Runner film is reasonably faithful to the book, even if certain aspects were changed.
There's a few dumb changes, but largely it's the same.
Going forward, do you think that all these changes to the Scorch trials, how will that affect if they then do the Death Cure?
The problem is that the film ends on a completely different note to how the book ends. The book ends in them being possibly captured, and the film ends in them fighting and the sort of overpowering Wicked and being left on their own to possibly go get a character who wasn't even kidnapped in the book. It's a completely different ending.
I don't think it's a film you could see without having some understanding of the first one.
Because they do bring up some stuff a lot. They keep bringing up Chuck's death as if anyone ever cared about that character.
Leave Chuck alone.
The first film, they're like, we're going to make him really nice and really sympathetic, and then we're going to kill him because that's how we do. How confused were you watching this film, thinking about the book?
Yeah, I kept finding myself trying to match up things that were happening, things in the book. I spent the whole time well, Teresa shouldn't be there. Teresa's with the girls, because there is this scene in the book where Teresa's in a hut by herself,
bitching and whinging.
And she's screaming. There's a bit where she
I thought that was artificial.
Yeah, that's what I mean. She's screaming even though she's not being attacked or something. And then Thomas goes and realises it's her, and she tells him to stay away from her. So that was completely missed out. I can understand why they have made the artistic choices they've made. There's a lot of stuff in the book that can feel slightly repetitive to the first book. This idea that they're still being tested. The maze is a test, and in the book, the Scorch Trials is definitely a test. It's set up as actually Wicked is still playing them, and they still have to go along with it.
Speaking of things that are invented, the first 45 to maybe even an hour of the first movie is all completely invented stuff where they are taken from the maze and then they are put into this facility in the middle of the Scorch where they are surrounded by other groups. They apparently had their own mazes and were supposedly rescued. They established that the groups are slowly being taken to a sanctuary, which turns out to be a lie, and they're actually being harvested for enzymes in their brain. None of that's in the book. In the book, they literally leave the maze, they go to a safe house, then all their carers supposedly die, and then they run off into the Scorch and fanny about for a couple of chapters wandering around.
I think in some respects it's better because I think you get an idea of what they're running from. They don't really explain what the cranks are.
They're just implied to be zombie
They're implied
things.
to be zombie things, but you don't get in the book. The reason they've turned that way is because they're infected with the flare.
Yeah,
it's not really explained so well in the film, I don't think. So to then have the base attacked by the cranks and for them to then have to flee possibly wouldn't make as much sense as it does in the book. It's not a particularly faithful adaptation. It keeps sort of your basic plot of they're travelling across the Scorch to get to a safe haven. But in terms of everything else, it does leave that alone. Is it an enjoyable film? Yes, I enjoyed watching it. It was quite entertaining. It's quite funny. I would actually say that if there was a tagline for it, it should be "Oh shit." There is quite a lot of "Oh shit" that goes on.
There is one bastard. The rest of it's "Oh shit, oh shit, shit, oh shit, shit, shit."
It is quite amusing. If you could, I suggest it's a drinking game. Maybe that's.
Oh god. Liver damage. They just do it constantly, even like the adults who like, but they know their adult word. They're like shit, because what is it? A 12A?
It's a 12A, yeah.
So
I mean,
they
it
just
is
keep saying shit repeatedly.
Actually, you know, one thing I do think was good about it is there are some quite dark elements in it. Once they escape, I feel
like all the dark elements are in the beginning.
Yeah, but I mean, like when they flee, one of the group is attacked by a crank and gets bitten.
Character they add that was not in the previous movie that they just randomly added so that he can be killed off.
Yeah, essentially, he's bitten by a crank and becomes infected. And there is a moment where he takes the gun and he has every intention of shooting himself. And some of them don't want him to, but one of the characters anew gives him the gun and just says goodbye.
Yeah,
and
I think it's a reasonably well shot movie.
Yeah.
A lot of it is CG, so you can't really call it amazing cinematography. But there is a really nice shot that just stuck in my mind, which is where they are walking across a sandy hill,
lovely.
and then they hear him shoot himself.
Yeah.
And they all stop and they turn. It's completely in sync, and it was just a really nice.
It was just perfect. It was just like a moment.
Tonally perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. I did like that. I thought that was really well done.
Would you watch it again?
Probably. Yeah.
I think maybe.
I don't think it'd be like. I don't think I'd pick it off the shelf as a first.
It's like if it's on TV.
Yeah.
And you've got nothing better to do, and like there's no grass growing somewhere else.
No paint that needs watching whilst it dries.
No, I liked it. I wasn't. I feel like you're gonna forget about it in a day.
I don't feel like I wasted a tenner going to see it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a waste of money, whereas some films you go and see and you think, I could have bought books with that money.
But yeah, no, I agree with that. It's entertaining for what it is, but you're not going to really remember it. And please like and subscribe this video if you'd like to see more. We are uploading videos throughout the weekday and possibly at the weekends as well. And please tune in again tomorrow for another video.